And we are live. Hello, everyone. I see we already have friends in the chat. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out today. So I have, well, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
My name is Mary Beth, and I am from the Columbus, Ohio area.
Oh, good. I think Kristen from Kristen's classroom is from over there too. She'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. Good. And so what made you want to start at VIPKid?
Well, I have a background in education. I have a degree in education in K-12 and I was a brick and mortar teacher for a while. I had 2 babies, stayed at home for a little while, and have just been trying to find something that kept with my passion for teaching, but also allowed me to, have time with my family. And with all the stuff that's going on in the world right now, being home ended up being top of that list as well. And I have a friend who's a teacher and she was like, you should come check it out. And that's how I found it.
That's it. Awesome. Shout out to your mentor teacher who got you started.
Yeah, go Sarah.
Hey guys, I'm going to say hi in the chat really quick. Hey, James and Deborah. And Sophie's here. Hey, Sophie. Amy Lou. Rachel, thanks for coming. And Stephanie. Awesome, guys. I appreciate you being here. So I don't think I see anybody new in the chat, but if you're new here and you want to leave a message, I almost said, if you have a question for us, for me or for Mary Beth, please put it in all caps. That way there I can find it easier. Oh yeah, good afternoon, Sophie. I'm going to visit Sophie one of these days. She doesn't know it yet. Well, she probably does because I mention it every time we talk. But one thing I love about VIPKid is you make friends, even though we don't get to see each other face to face. But I feel like I'm already friends with Sophie. We've messaged back and forth, and I have a group of friends. If I try to shout them all out, I'll miss some of them. But my friend Evelyn invited me to like a YouTubers VIPKid group. And we've all became friends. We all talk about meeting each other. So when this is all over with, we're going to have a big virtual or non-virtual meetup. So yes, Sophie, I will be coming to the Netherlands to visit you. Okay, so let's get back to Mary Beth. I'm just so excited you're here and you agreed to come on.
Thank you for having me.
We had messaged a long time ago about it and didn't get back together. So let's see. So you were a brick and mortar teacher. What grades did you teach?
Well, my degree was K-12. So for the first couple of years, I taught K-5. And then I moved in the latter half of my teaching to 6 through 12. I was a music teacher. So I got to teach a little bit of everything, a little bit of all age levels.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense then. Because I was like, how do you teach a split of K-5?
A little bit of everything.
My friend is first, second, third, multi-age. So she's got 3 age groups in there.
Wow.
So, and that's funny because I think Kristen I know Kristen is a music teacher too.
Oh, wow. What a small world.
You need to look at her YouTube channel. I bet you'd like it.
Oh, yes. I bet I would too.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to check it out.
Let's see. So how long have you been with VIPKid?
70 days.
70? Don't you love that app?
Yes, it tells me exactly.
I think I'm at 352.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Hey guys in the chat, write down how long you've been teaching with VIPKid. I think it's hilarious that we all do it in days. James said, if you do, I can be your tour guide. Oh, we coming to Vietnam, James? Nice. Hey, Audrey. Yeah, sorry. I should tell you that if I'm looking down here, your questions are here. And if I'm looking over here, that's the live chat. I should have warned you that I'm quite classic ADHD.
It's all good.
So why do you think you had a successful start? What are some of the things that you did?
This was not because anyone told me to, but I think that it was just because I opened everything I had available to me. I went all out, short notice, whatever I could teach. I just opened it. And I adapted as quickly as I could to suggestions from my mock class mentor. And I got a feedback when I got the level 1 certification. And when I got the feedback from VIPKid telling me that I could move from basic to advanced, one of the big things was they were talking about my lighting. So I really messed with that quite a bit and ended up figuring out that I just needed a better webcam. But I just, I just went all out, and I acted and taught every class like it was the best class of my life, and just made it. Yeah. And I think that just kind of snowballed. And I also got the trial certification. And I think for the first 3 weeks, I did that booked trial info processing, and it was crazy, but I retained a lot of those students that ended up signing up. So that helped a lot.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did when I got started. And of course, it's very subjective on whether you should do it or not. I taught 26 classes in 13 and a half hours.
Wow.
No shows, but I was booked for them, and I was like, whoa, what am I going to do? But you just adjust, like you said, and adapt. And I have these little things I've had since I started. Every trial lesson has their own little envelope. So when it rebooks, I just pull it.
Yes, same thing. I have a whole box.
That's my favorite, Mary Beth.
And in this box is every single trial I could possibly teach. I already have note cards, props, everything. So literally that book trial info processing, no problem, because I just pull the bag. Yeah. Oh, I have that one.
I think, is this the one from the library?
No, I think is this from the library, or is it from Teachers Pay Teachers? I think Teachers Pay Teachers, which is a fantastic website.
Yeah. Man, we'll have to look this one up and link it, because I love it.
I love it too. And it had this, and then it had the monsters one with the eyes. I ended up making like a really cute.
I have that one too somewhere.
Like the little monster and eyes, nose, and mouth.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh, yep.
And then monster. I put the pieces on the back.
Oh, nice.
So I don't lose them.
That's fantastic. That's a great idea. I have them in a little Ziploc bag, but they have the little, Velcro things on them.
Super fun. So if you do trials, one good thing is to have the little trials in an envelope or something quick that you can just pull. The rebooking feature, if you have that on, that would definitely help. Let's see. Amy Lou. Oh, hey, Amy. She said, good for you, Mary Beth. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it's good too. I really think you need to shoot out of the gate. Agreed. Sophie, if you think of anything else you and I had talked about, or in that chat, we talked about so many things about new teachers and what gives them a successful start. Yeah, we have a whole list going. So what else do you think?
I didn't know this until after, but the first 2 weeks, I've heard that they tend to highlight new teachers in their first 2 weeks. So that really gets you that footing, even if you only get just a small handful of classes, to get yourself going. So don't be afraid. As soon as you pass everything and all of your stuff clears, just open it and go, because the longer you wait, I feel like the potential is the harder it would be to build your schedule and your clients.
Right. And I think it's important to know about those 2 weeks, especially because your intro video, sometimes you just want to hurry up and get something out there just so you can get past that point of the application process and things. And I think it's important to know that you need to have a pretty good intro video when you start. I mean, especially now that there's so many teachers.
Right. It was hard because when I applied and everything and got through, it said, give yourself a little 10-second intro video. And the demonstration that they showed was literally just a person, and it wasn't bad, but it's just a person sitting there like, hi, I'm Mary Beth, but you can call me Teacher Mary. And that's basically all it was. So that's what I had. And then I took that marketing yourself workshop, which if you haven't taken it, it's really eye-opening. And I completely changed my intro video, and it was worth every second that I spent on changing it.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. And Sophie has a great video out about intro videos, how she did hers, what she thinks about it, information about your bio and stuff. So check that out too for those of you in the chat. I keep thinking about something. Oh, I said this in one of my lives, and I got thank you notes from other teachers. One thing, guys, to have a successful start is to be a good teacher. And like Mary Beth said, give your all during your classes, because some of you might not be teaching the best classes, and that's why you're not getting bookings. It's not just, VIPKid having a bunch of teachers. And I know that kind of sounds harsh, but, you need to put some effort into it. I've heard new teachers saying they're not preparing and looking at the slides ahead of time. And I think that's just hurting you. And one other thing about that before I get off my soapbox, Shannon Mabry mentioned, not preparing for a slide is not setting you up for success. You lose your flexibility when you are not prepared for slides. So especially as new teachers, make sure you're checking on those slides and be prepared. And so you can teach a better class and thus get more bookings. Okay.
Something that I did that I found helps me right along with what you're talking about is I bought these little cheap bins from the Dollar Tree. I got, a whole bunch for like $1, and I just flip through the slides and I put for each class different props. And then I have dry erase little note cards that I can put the student's name and the time. Oh, and great. Then anything like sometimes the slides, like the ending slide is not at the end, there's enrichment at the end of each one. Yeah. So I put those little notes on there to remind myself like, hey, if she's breezing through this is extra stuff that's already built in or anything like that. And so that's helped me stay organized just so I can just pull the box and go every time.
Does anyone remember who had the box with the little card holder on the top? I think that might've been Mary. She had a box and it's like a recipe box. So she had all her cards and would stick the card on the top of the box.
I also have this. This is really cool. It's a little file. I don't know if you can see it, but it has all my letters, numbers.
I love those cards in the back. That is one of my number one props.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't realize how much I would use this.
It's linked in all of my videos, I think. Look, I have them all like this on a little hook next to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I didn't realize I probably use these for almost every single class. And I didn't realize that when I got it.
Yeah. Every single day I use one set of these cards. Colors, shapes, emotions, feelings. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes.
That's funny. Yeah. I love how there's like go-tos that everybody just kind of gravitates toward and they're like, oh, I have that one too.
Food, transportation. Oh, you name it. It is on here. I love it.
It's been really helpful with like the community where it talks when you have the lessons that are about like street corners and apartments and all of that stuff that's hard to show, and I love those because they're real pictures.
Yeah, and that's in there too, guys. So James said I use old box top lids to set up my props for the classes. Oh, that's awesome. I have these in my kindergarten room. Some of you probably have seen these in my videos. So I used to pile all these up. So when I had the 21 classes, I had 20 of these piled up.
That's awesome. I would knock it over.
Yeah, I had them all on the side of me on the floor, like.
That's awesome.
That's just how I had to set myself up for success. So let's see. I always look at the slides ahead of time. Awesome. Hey, Amanda Panda. Panda's in the house. Go newbies.
It's like a celebrity.
Oh, Stephanie, you're a newer teacher too, aren't you? I think she's pretty new too. Stephanie, how long have you been teaching? Oh, Amy Lou. Oh, look, I missed how many days they've been teaching. I love it. James is 142 days in now. Stephanie is 152. Sophie, 96 days. Amy Lou, 303. Oh, teacher Audrey, you beat me. 464. That's awesome. Oh, that's kind of fun to see how long everyone's been teaching. I think since you showed the prop, now your autofocus is.
I thought so too. I've been having issues with that. I actually wrote something into the company about it because I was mad.
Is it a Logitech?
It's the C922.
Oh, I have the 920. Okay, let's see.
There we go.
Yep, perfect.
Thank you.
James, me too. I look at every slide just in case they have switched anything. Yeah, good thing. And Stephanie, 152. Awesome. Okay, let's see your next question. Can you tell us about your intro video?
Sure. I used iMovie to set mine up, and I'm not technology illiterate by any means, but I'm not like super savvy. Yeah. It was very easy to follow. I basically just recorded myself just using my camera on my laptop for about 5 minutes. And I just pretended to teach and did all this stuff. And I took some still shots, and then I brought it all into iMovie. I put a low music, little soundtrack beneath it. And that's pretty much all I did.
Great.
Which is exactly what they tell you in the marketing workshop. I mean, I pretty much followed the recipe step by step.
one of the things I thought was interesting, Teacher Michael, I think it was Teacher Michael, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, said that if you turn the volume off and they can still understand what your video is about, then it's good.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. So, and let's see. The question is about workshops. Have you taken many workshops, and did you start the workshops right away?
Yes and yes. I took everything I possibly could. There was my first week, I probably took like 14 workshops,
Yeah.
just because I'd never taught online before. I didn't really know, I've taught in classrooms and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
just very different. And this is a very different platform. I've never taught ESL. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I wanted to make sure that whatever information I could get, I did. So I took every single, new teacher workshop, course-based workshop, parent feedback workshops, just everything I could. My husband's like, are you still doing that? Oh, and that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I still do almost a year later. And sometimes it's just a reminder of different things, but there's always new information. And shout out to Lucy. I love her trial toolbox workshop.
Oh, yeah.
I love the trials. I get all starlights now, which I like starlights, but I miss the jungle.
I've been getting a lot of starlight trials as well. I just taught
Really?
three this morning. Yeah.
Yeah. I had 2 last night. Oh my goodness, Amanda Panda, 979 days. That's awesome. Amanda Panda has an awesome Etsy shop. So even if you're not new, go check it out. Amanda Panda Teacher. I think she's on Teacher Pay Teachers too, but I always go to the Etsy shop. I have all kinds of her props. And I remember one time like, hey, do you have this? And she's like, not yet. So she's all about making, and she's got great stuff. Let's see. So Sophie and I had been talking, like there are some teachers or newer teachers that didn't know where to find things in the teacher portal and certifications. I'm guessing since you did workshops and everything, you were also all into the teacher portal trying to find things and clicking around.
Yes, I as soon as everything got accepted and I had access to the portal, I probably spent 4 hours my first day just finding where everything was. And I still felt like after even that time, I didn't know, but as I just made it a purposeful attempt every day to spend time in there, to look for things. And with the workshops too, especially since I immediately did the 2 new teacher workshops, that really helped me to be able to understand the lingo and what people were talking about and what different options meant, with the booked info trial pending or book trial info pending thing, all that. I was like, I don't know what that means. But yeah, it took me.
Yeah, I think it's important to get in there and find where the certifications are too, because if you can get certified for trials, I mean, you can always send in a ticket to have something taken off your list, but you might as well give it a try and see if you like it, especially if you're one of the ones that have low bookings. So, hey, Ellen, thanks for coming. She said 164 days and only 7 classes. I've taken every workshop, redone pictures and video, opened all slots, checked in every day, getting discouraged. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that, Ellen. And you probably know all of these, but just in case, did you know you can send in a ticket for low bookings and no bookings? So take advantage of that. From what I hear, your first response will be an automated response. Reply back with something positive. Always stay positive in these tickets, because they're not going to try to help you if you're like, you're not doing this, and and that wasn't towards you, Ellen, that was just in general. So I hear be positive. One thing, if you do get a trial lesson, right at the bottom to the LP, thank you for this trial, I love this trial lesson. Things like that. Be encouraging to the LP, say thank you, and maybe you'll get some more bookings that way. There is something else. There's a bunch of things that we've been talking about too. So maybe you'll get some more tips and tricks here, or if not, I'm sure we can come up with some more for you. So let's see. Do you have any supplementary classes?
All of them.
Which ones do you have?
Well, I could tell you. Hold on one second. I will find them all. I've been teaching a lot of the grammar, the vocab. I just taught 2 of the TEFL primary ones this morning.
They're not my favorite.
They're so dry. I feel so bad. I'm trying to be excited about it,
At
but
least you can make songs out of things. I can't sing. I get so embarrassed. My cheeks hurt when I have to sing, especially if the kids are older.
Oh, I'm fine with embarrassing the heck out of myself for that. It's not a problem. But I have proper pronunciation, voice of VIPKid, TEFL primary, free talk, phonics, grammar, beginning and advanced, leveled reading, beginning, advanced, words to sentences, story time, vocab, everything I could get, just because, like you said, there's probably going to be a few of them I don't like, but I don't know that until I get in there and teach them. And especially because I heard that in the summer, a lot of students are straying a little more from the major course, and they're taking the supplementary classes. So want to take advantage of that if I could.
Ellen, one thing I just thought of, one thing I've noticed, if I'm consistently opening the same slots for a period of time, they tend to book. So like if you want to book from 5 a.m. to, that last slot of the day or whatever, make sure you're consistent at least for a little while, keep them open short notice. And then I've noticed that when after the frenzy, I started shutting some just so I could have a break, and I started losing bookings.
Oh, so really?
And not getting as many, like I thought I would just take, some time off, and I started not getting as many short notice trials.
Interesting.
So for this month, I started getting consistent again, and consistently I'm getting trials again. So
see, it's funny.
Consistent.
I've heard both things. I've heard that, that once people book for the frenzy, they do close down and then they open them short notice. And some say that they get, bogged with all sorts of, bookings, and some don't. So it's interesting.
Well, I started closing them and not opening them short notice or anything.
Oh,
I started to get very inconsistent.
Gotcha.
I think whatever your consistent is to you, that is what you'll eventually start rolling in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was just something. Let's see. Amanda Panda, in feedback, write to the parent and tell them what child said to you, favorite color, animals, etc. Yeah. I think that's a great thing to point out, Amanda Panda. This was one from this morning. Normally, I have 4 rapport questions for every child, especially if they're new. Maybe 1 or 2 more for, high flyers. And this little guy had a little bit of trouble. So, I mean, it's his Chinese name, but I'll just cross it out anyway. So I find out how old they are, but then I ask them personal questions. So in feedback, I can say, oh, today Bao Bao told me he is 9 years old. He likes the color yellow and he likes to eat pizza, or tell them something I learned about them. So yeah, this, I write it on the whiteboard. Teacher Lucy West taught me this, and she just said it's in her rapport building. She does this before her classes. And I don't know. I think it's important to build that rapport with them, except when you're a talker, it's hard to get your classes in when you look and you're like 5 minutes in and you're still talking to the kids. I'm like, oh.
Something that I have found that's helped with feedback is writing the why to parents. Like, we spent an extended amount of time on the short I sound, because that is an incredibly challenging, sound. And it, just telling them why though, because you want them to be understood when they're speaking, and they did a great job understanding this concept. Or sometimes, I have students who breeze through things and then they bring their own stuff to class and they're showing me. And then I try and work it into the lesson. So if we're doing prepositions, can you put the toy under? Can you put it over, or whatever? And then I tell the parents why I did that, because it allows them to make connections within their own world, which keeps things relevant to them and they'll retain longer. So telling the parents why, I have found for me, has led not only to success, but having lots of parents give me feedback. And that's, we have that communication now.
That's great. You're speaking Amanda Panda's language. She's going to love you. Let's see. No. The short notice business is for established teachers. Open a consistent schedule to build regulars. Yeah, I agree, Amanda Panda. But you leave them short notice is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So if she doesn't book her, whatever schedule she picked, if she doesn't book those, leave them open is what I feel. Again, a lot of this is subjective and you just kind of have to see what works for you. But I feel like when I am more consistent and keeping my schedule open, then it books. But I started getting lazy. And when the 5 and 5:30 ones didn't book, or the 3:30 and 4 a.m. ones didn't book, I was like, oh, I'll get an hour of sleep. Oh, you know what I mean? And then I noticed that they were getting less and less. So yeah, let's see.
Do you recommend, I know some people say that if they don't book at all, do you just let them expire? Some people have a theory, let them expire so parents can see you're available. Some say close them so parents see that you're in demand.
Yeah.
Is that kind of just your own personal thing? Or
I let them expire.
I do too.
Yeah. Especially your PPT slots. You don't, if you're getting the tokens or if there's ever an incentive for your PPT slots, you want to make sure they're expiring so that they can see your opening PPT slots. I think leave them open and let them expire. Yeah. But I will tell you, before I go to bed, if that first slot did not book, I do not keep it open unless I plan on waking up for it. I don't take the chance of getting a teacher no-show. So let's see. Sophie says, I use short notice to keep my trials coming. I never want to lose trials, and I often get them booked short notice after other students have canceled post 24-hour notice. Let's see. Amanda Panda, opening class conversations are powerful and parents will rebook you. And Stephanie says she lets them expire too. Awesome. Great job in the chat, guys. I love it. I'm sure I'm missing everything, or some things. Let me know. Put it down at the bottom if I missed something. Amanda Panda said, get certified in everything. More certifications equals more money. It's a bigger pool of students, guys. So, anybody doing MVP Starlight? That's been kind of interesting. It's a new Starlight, and they're it's like a little pilot thing, and you get $5 extra for filling out surveys.
Oh, wow. I'm just hoping to get my first Starlight class. I've been doing all trials, but no classes yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Once you get on their radar, like I was talking to Lucy West about this the other day, she said, you must be on an LP's radar. I'm starting to lose my regulars and having all Starlights because they're booking me. They book 2 classes and then a set of 4. So they book 6 at a time.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think they're replacing some of my other babies.
Oh, I'm just really interested in the curriculum itself. I kind of really like that. And I want to teach it a little bit more so I can kind of dive in because it seems so different and it's much more reading based, and I like it. I've loved the trials too.
Yeah, I will say I didn't like it as much as at first because they kept putting all older students in and it was like they struggled and were embarrassed and it was tough to teach. But I will say in the last month, I probably teach 4 or 5 Starlight classes a day now. And they are so much better and the kids are in better placements and it's been great.
Do you know this, and this may be just a far reaching question. So they've talked about with the level 2 that they will no longer put students who are like the 7 and 8 year olds with no English skills in beginning level 2. That was one of the things that came out. Do you know, is it a plan to put them into the Starlight program or are they really going to put them in like IMC or the level 1 classes?
I think we've been seeing both happen.
Okay.
I've been seeing them in Starlight and I don't know if it was Amy, one of our friends that we there's a bunch of us that do lives every day and we go to each other's lives. So we're always talking in the chats and stuff. And one of them said they had like a 10 or 11-year-old in level 1.
Oh,
yeah.
I would worry that I just worry about the maturity level of the actual class and the student themselves, and I would find that I haven't had that personally. I've had a lot of 3, 4 and 5 year olds in the level 1s. So I would be interested to see how that challenge would play out.
Yeah, I think they would do really well in the old level 1s, but I don't know about the new level 1s. And I haven't taught a new level 1. I've been certified for it, but.
Oh man, that's all I get for level 1. I've had a couple of the old, but the new ones, I mean, they're so interactive.
I have all the old ones, so I'm prepared for the old ones though. If they threw the new one in, I might have been like, ooh. James said, I'm teaching a 12-year-old in Starlight and she seems too smart for that class. Well, put it in there. Maybe she'll move her. Starlight has different levels in it now too. I started teaching a level 0, I don't know, maybe over a month now. And now I have lots of level 0. So there is a Starlight level 0, which is a lot of letters and some simple blending. So I'm really enjoying it. I had a great one this morning. But then there are some that have like magic shows and stuff as they're getting more and more advanced. So I think it's coming a long way. Yeah. New level 1 is amazing, Sophie said. Great. Amanda, if you open a slot less than 24 hours and open and close that slot, it sends a notification to the parent that you opened a new slot. So you're saying open it and, oh, it just started pouring. Sorry, guys. I got distracted. I think she's answering questions up above. Thanks, Amanda Panda. Yeah, if you have questions, Amanda Panda's in the chat too. Let's see. And you already told us you use the rebooking feature, right?
Yes, I do. I was really hesitant at first, but I just went into the certifications tab and looked at all of the trials classes that I could possibly teach. And I prepped every single one ahead of time so it was ready to go in those bags. And that's really what helped me to be successful with that feature, that rebooking feature. And I found that once I turned that on, that my trials just went flooding in.
Yeah. Because, I mean, they want a teacher that, you know, they might not know what student's going to go in there yet either. They're just hoping that they have a student for you. And then if you can switch to other trials, it's like, oh, well, this one can switch and this one can't. Who would you choose? Right? I mean, that's the way I think about it anyway. So don't get me wrong. It was a little intimidating at first. I have all of my envelopes here. Well, I have the ones I normally teach here on my windowsill. And then I have a little drawer back here that has the rest of them. So if I see it switch to a level 5 trial, I come back here and I grab it. So good.
I didn't realize, though, I got Starlight Trial certified. I've been doing a few of those, and I had that, booked trial info pendings for Starlight. I was like, great, I have all my Starlight stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
20 seconds before, it put me into 3.0 plus level 6. And I was like, I didn't know it could do that. So I had it all prepped, but they do bounce back and forth. And
I didn't think they could do that either until just the other day, actually. I got to a level 5 trial 3.0. It looked fun, but they didn't show. I wanted to teach it because it was the magic show one. I was like, oh, this one looks great. So let's see. We talked about intro video, workshops, certifications. What else are we missing, Mary Beth? Can you think of anything?
I was looking at the questions that you gave me. You had, what does your VIPKid currently look like? I didn't know if there's anything specific you were looking for.
Yeah, what is your schedule currently?
Schedule. So I'm Eastern time, and I open 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. And if my husband, he works from home, if he doesn't have any meetings, I will open my Beijing time 9 p.m. So my 9 o'clock, because I like trials, and that's when they come in. So I do open those. And I have had success. I do 2 big evenings a week as well. I was trying to do a bunch in the morning and a bunch in the evening, and I was getting burnt a little bit. It was just too much. So I do 2 big evenings a week. So I teach about 55 to 60 classes a week.
Okay, that's me too. When I was getting started, though, I started honestly, I had a very fortunate start. I started right before a Mid-Autumn Festival for them, which was a booming time I didn't know. And I made $2,700 in my first full month and I just taught, like I said, overnights and stuff.
Yeah, and congratulations, though.
Tired. Thanks, but I got tired.
Sure.
Hey guys, if you have anything else that we can help new hires get started and have a successful start, please put it in the chat. I see Sophie wrote something. I'm going to take a look at it. But I really want to help some of these teachers get started. So, I did think of another one. So this is subjective too, of course, but when the parents see your pictures, your profile pictures, they're seeing tons of teachers, thousands of teachers in a row. And I was told during one of the Marketing Yourself workshops that if you have an orange shirt like everybody, you just look like everybody else and you blend in. Something to stand out, whether it's a prop, whether it's, in mine, I have a red brick background. It's an actual house. Somebody thought it was a backdrop. It's not. It was the house, and I have a bright purple shirt on with the sun, just, good lighting. And I wonder if that helped me get a good start, because I don't think my intro video did it. So
I used my
no idea.
I used my puppet in my profile picture. because he's very eye-catching.
That's
And
why our thumbnail's orange.
yeah. What's really funny is that I introduce him in my intro video, and I will get kids I've never had before. His name is Bob, and I say that in my video, and the kids will come on, they go, Bob, Bob. They don't know any English, but they know Bob. And so
They want to see Bob.
They do. It's just really funny.
Oh, I love it. That is so cute. Let's see. Do you use WeChat, Mary Beth?
I do not.
Yeah.
I've heard it. I think for me, my opinion is it's very personal as whether or not you want to do it or not. I find that if I have connections outside of the workplace to parents, and because I taught in brick and mortar schools too, I had one school where you weren't allowed to text anything from personal devices. And then my most recent one position is everybody had everybody's phone number. And I found that even when I was done working, I was still texting parents, calling parents, everyone was talking to me. They want to see pictures. They want to do this. And while I think that's great to build rapport, I found that at least for me, if I don't do WeChat, but I keep the communication here, because I will talk to the parents through the camera sometimes, I will say, I'll hear mom in the background, like in trials. And I'm like, hello, Bao Bao. Hello, mama, talk to them. And at the end say they did a great job. Some parents, as long as you give them a thumbs up, even if they don't understand English, that's, I use that time. So I don't burn myself out on the other end.
Good. Always thank the parents. It's a great idea. I do the same thing. James said my wife was finally able to get me on WeChat. Yeah, I'm not allowed. They don't allow me to validate people. So some accounts can validate others, and I'm just one that can't. I've tried. Sophie uses WeChat to her advantage for building her VIPKid business, and her and I will be talking about that. I don't know when. I don't think we made a date. Or maybe we did. I forgot. Sophie, I promise I will make it. I'll check my calendar. But she's got some great ideas for WeChat. But I do agree with you too, Mary Beth. Being a brick and mortar teacher, I was the same way. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't want people contacting me all the time. I have one parent that sends me her child's project before every class. And that's it.
I love that.
Yeah, and that's it though. No other. I've had a couple pictures from their Disney trip from another parent, and one said they needed to cancel. Other than that, but it might be because I don't interact with them so much. I don't know how to use it. So Sophie's gonna teach me how to use it. Let's see.
Like I said, I think it's a very personal thing. I mean, some people, it might work great for you, and I'm, just whatever you got to do, what you got to do to make your business yours.
Right. And that's a great thing that we're independent contractors and can choose that. So talk about extensions and TPR. Okay, Amanda, thanks. Extensions. So do you have any go-to extensions? Oh, Amanda, you just know I'm going to do your Would You Rather cards. That's what. No,
I love those. I love those. And I mean, I even give choices to my younger students, because even my very little ones can understand. And I've heard different things about this, but I have found that my little ones can understand, do you want this or this as your price? So I have the ice cream. I allow them to choose their color, things of that nature. And as far as extensions and expanding on the courseware itself, level 2 has a lot of really good things that you can do that you don't necessarily think of. Making sure that you're writing the actual target words or the target vocab, the target sentences down so they can see them, and they're not just saying, oh, they see it on the screen, but then you can review it at the end with them, see if you can get them to write. Sometimes my kids, they have the mouse and it's hard for them. So I literally have students who will take paper and they will write, and then they'll show me, and then they'll write, and then they'll show me. We do sight words. I make them close their eyes and then spell them. I thought that was so cute. And then I misspell them. They're like, no, teacher, no. And they get mad at me, and then they have to fix it. But just anything that you can do to make the slide alive, because, anyone can just scroll through a slide on their own, but having the teacher there, just, making it entertaining and educational is really important.
And before this started, I was telling Mary Beth that we have collaborations every Monday, and we have a VIPKid collaboration group, and we talk about extensions. Amanda Panda is on the panel too. When we talk about extensions, we talk about unit assessments, dealing with, kids that are struggling, like all kinds of things. But I'm laughing because Amanda Panda, I got these from her and I absolutely love them. They're some would you rather cards. Amanda Panda, can you make another set so I can buy another set of these? One of my students I've had for over 100 days. We need some new ones. But it comes with this. Why? Explain your choice and a sentence stem to go with it. So
that's what I use.
that's cute. So it's a sentence pattern that they can use.
I love that.
I just love these for an extension. But some classes you need to extend on every slide. You know, don't be afraid. If you've taught it or you've looked at it ahead of time, you might know where you need to extend. So if that kid is flying through, you know what's coming up. And I think that's what Shannon was talking about, the flexibility. Let's see.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
I was going to say, I took the gamification workshop.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't use Manicam, I don't even know how to say it. I don't use it just because I'm anxious that if I start using it, something's going to glitch and I have more control over just me. But I wanted to find ways that I could engage my students. So I use Uno cards a lot with like my upper levels because no one wants to read question 1, question 2. It's boring. So I tell them, I say, tell me when to stop. And they're like, oh, and they say stop. And then I show them and then they have to, read question 7 or what have you. Like I have a fidget spinner that has different questions on it and they have to answer it. So just making it more interesting and fun for them.
Right. And if you're running out of time, as new teachers, well, you should know. If you don't, here it is for you. You have to teach every slide up until that goodbye slide. So some tricks we've talked about on other collaborations is have a die ready, and then you roll it and number 4, and they read number 4. It looks like you're making a game out of it and not just skipping some of the questions on the slide. But you need to hit something on every slide. So like she said, use the Uno cards or a die, roll the die or something like that.
I do popcorn reading for my slower readers.
Love it.
Because I don't want them to be frustrated that they can't read at a quicker pace. So I will highlight chunks of passages and I say, pick your color and, or your number, you could write a number, do you want to read paragraph 1 or paragraph 2? And then we can go back and forth that way.
Definitely. I do the same thing. And echo reading. So have you done a story time yet? They have popcorn reading where the kid picks the blue or the red. Yeah, I love it.
Yes, I love that too.
And they start giggling when they have to say popcorn now.
We make a popcorn sound. And so I go, and the kids are like, they do that too. And it's really funny.
I'm going to have to try that now because I think Anthony will just lose it. I had today that I have had for 50 something classes. We talked about it today. And he's very, and today I mentioned something and he giggled and I was like, oh my God. I mean, he's kind of laughed before, but this was like a full on giggle and I just loved it. I know, it was so much fun. Candy, I saw she mentioned something.
I was going to show some while you're looking.
Yeah, please.
So Amanda Panda was talking about extensions. So specifically, since we're talking about story time, I have all of the target sight words on these little cards.
Oh, you're so much like me.
And I do the same thing that I do with the Uno cards.
Yep.
Before I give them a star, I say stop, and they'll stop, and then I'll have the vocab word on it, and I'll ask them to make their own sentence that has nothing to do with the story using that word. But I love these. Yes. Yeah.
So guys, these are all on the teacher portal. Yep.
I think these ones were on the Digital Props Facebook page, maybe. Digital
maybe.
and I think so.
I don't know if she's the creator, but she's definitely one of the admin on those. Yeah, I didn't know there was so much in there. So Candy said something about WeChat is sometimes the LPs will connect with you as well.
Oh.
I think Jason and Kristen both were able to talk to learning partners on WeChat. I remember Kristen did, yeah.
What benefit do you find from talking specifically outside of, the little feedback forms to the LPs? What do they communicate with you about?
Well, before LPs couldn't communicate back with us. So if you filled out the form, you never received anything. So chatting with them on WeChat, they kind of get to know you and they feed students towards you. So like, for example, a while back, she plays her guitar a lot. And so they she fixed some of the songs or made them slower so that the kids could learn them, and
Mm-hmm.
the LPs loved that. And there was a certain LP that connected with her and was feeding her level 1 to get the kids interested and feeling good about level 1s.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So yeah. I forgot Sophie's music too. She plays the ukulele.
Yay, music.
How am I hooking up with all you musical people when I am terrible? I guess you're my, what is it, yin to yang? You're here to help me. You just didn't know it. Let's see. I know I'm totally missing things in here. Oh, Amanda Panda put the would you rather cards in the chat box. Good. I have to go. Oh, bye, Rachel. Thank you. I think that's all I can think of right now. Oh, except TPR. She wanted me to talk about TPR. TPR. You know what it is?
Yes, total physical response, not from me, from the student.
Yes, thank you. Oh, Shannon would be so happy you said that.
Okay, I kind of fangirl with Shannon a little bit.
My interview with her?
No,
so much fun.
I will have to look for it because her workshops for me really spoke to me, and her TPR one I've taken twice because I just loved it so much.
And she is just, yeah, I don't know. She's so
very engaging
way of explaining things. And she wasn't a brick and mortar teacher when she started this.
You can't tell. She
tells the story. She goes back and she says, like, you need to keep learning. Like, why would you just want to be a good teacher? Don't you want to strive for success and strive to be better? And then I signed up for a workshop that day. I was like, crap, I need to keep striving to be better. Thank you, Shannon. So, yes.
I don't remember if it was Shannon or it was one of the wonderful teachers in the workshops. I struggled with how to cross that barrier that first time with the student to show them that they could physically respond and do what I was doing, because I would do it like crazy and they're not doing it. And I'm like, okay, so how do so I did this trick, and I can't take credit, but I can't remember who showed it to me. I would do like, and then the student kind of stare at me, and I'd show my hands and I'd do it again. And then I would clap twice and then make a face, clap twice and do something. And eventually I would clap twice and make the letter or whatever it was. And then they would get it. And then, from there, it usually spiraled. But that clap, kids will clap when you clap. So that helped me to bridge that gap for that TPR.
Was it a guy or a girl?
I think it was a female.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking Justin is very like, what's the word I'm looking for? Dramatic in his speech. Yeah. He's got a great video on letter sounds too. I do the same thing with repeating. La, la, la. And if I can't get them to repeat, I just do that, la, la, la. And then they start repeating. And I'm like, okay, microphone, it works.
I use my marker for my microphone all the time.
Well, these are awesome. And I'm not an affiliate with them or anything, but where is the setting? Each color has its own question.
Oh, cute.
So I use these for colors or for older kids for questions. They're great for story time. And there's them in here.
Where did you get them?
Lakeshore.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Not surprised.
In kindergarten, one of my problems was always reading comprehension, and probably most people in the chat have already heard it. I struggled with reading comprehension, still do as an adult. But in kindergarten, I wanted to ask them questions, but I never remembered to. I would just read a story. But then I'd have the wands and tell the kids, remember, we need to pick a question. So every time we would pick one question during the story.
That's great. Oh, I love that.
Yep. So, Lucy did that. I love Lucy's workshops too. Kasie, those would be great for level 6. Yeah. Oh, Siri thinks I said Siri instead of Kasie. Yeah, they're great. And like I said, I don't have an affiliate with them, but I think it's linked. If it's not, I will link one. So, wow, Mary Beth, I think we've covered quite a bit. I don't know. We still have 10 people in the chat. Thanks for coming, guys.
I'm flattered that you stayed and listened to me.
I know. I can't believe some people stay and listen to me talk sometimes. I had Kristen on here once and we talked for 2.5 hours and we had 20 people in the chat.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome.
So, hey guys, if you wouldn't mind giving us a big thumbs up on here. And since I have you all here, I just want to thank you so much. Our community, we are at 987 subscribers.
Wow.
On this channel. I'm so excited and just so thankful to everyone. I think that's all we have. If you have more questions for us or ideas to have a great successful start. Please let us know. We've been talking in the Newbie Island. Is that Lauren's group? I think it's Lauren Snyder. Anyway, I'll have to tell you guys later about it, but she has an amazing group for newbie teachers. And if you have ideas for the newbies, I will put them in that group, because we all want to see successful VIPKid teachers. So, oh, Mary Beth, I have the same backdrop. I added wall stickers from Dollar Tree.
Yes, that's awesome. This was $10. $10. Yes. And I love it because I was having issues with my lighting. I said at the very beginning, and my wall behind me is kind of like, it's not my favorite color in the world. And I think the light was reflecting off of it. So this backdrop, there's a whole bunch of them on Amazon. They're really inexpensive and great quality. So
I just got one yesterday. Okay, I love learning about dinosaurs. It started in 6th grade. I have a fascination with learning about dinosaurs. And this is a world map with all dinosaurs.
Oh, that's so cool.
I just got it yesterday. So I love it.
Apparently my wheelhouse lately is 8-year-old boys. So that would go over really well in my classroom.
Love it. You probably have the patient tag. Look at your tags and see.
I do.
Patient. Oh, that's why.
Yep. Oh yeah. I'm pretty much well aware of that.
Yes, that's my favorite.
I have one student who, and we have made this work. He only uses his feet to touch the screen.
Oh, I had that today.
And I love him to pieces, but I've had to learn how to work with it because it wasn't worth the fight to figure out how to use your hands like he's doing it. Oh, and he would be like in a moving car with his feet, and I'm like, had to like, you know.
Amanda, I should send Amanda Panda the Zoom to this, or the link to this Zoom. She's got 2 funny stories. One is putting a pout fish in the back of her shirt to teach hump. You should watch that one. And she talks about her student spinning and spinning. You need to watch the funny, what is it called? It's my video. Funny stories or something. It's one of the recent ones. We all put in funny stories, but Amanda's got some good ones.
My favorite story, I haven't been teaching very long, so I don't have very many super funny ones, but I taught the old level 1 tic-tac-toe lesson. And I have this sweet little boy who has, what up to this point was just wonderful. He liked to show me his grasshoppers that he has as pets and all this other crazy stuff. And we were learning tic-tac-toe and we're going through it. And in the previous lesson, I had mentioned to the parent, hey, this is what we're going to learn. If you can work with him, outside of class. So when we come in, he's able to go with it, and he obviously knew what he was doing, but I'm of the mindset that you can't always win. So I let him win twice. And then I beat him. And he screamed bloody murder, grabbed the phone, took it and chucked it. And the screen went blank. And I was like, oh, what do I do with this? And I waited, and Dad came back on and was, he was so apologetic to me. And I was like, I just was trying so hard not to laugh because, he's 4 and he wants to win.
One of my little ones too. I let him win a couple of times, but then I don't, because I'm stuck playing with level 6 and my big boys are level 5 and 6, and they're ruthless. They teach me all the time. Because I have one that teaches me. So he's been teaching me all the tricks.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yes. So James said, oh yeah, I had a student get me sick because he kept spinning his iPad while I was teaching. One of my first videos is teaching upside down, and I'm upside down. So if you look at it, Jimmy, the one I said I have 50 something classes with that I got to giggle today, he can't stop moving, which I don't either, but he would like go around in his bed with the iPad and but now that he's almost a year older, it's actually getting better, but it made me dizzy the first couple of times. I'm like, I don't know if I can keep teaching this. This is awful.
I had a student that, again, back to that 7, 8-year-old boy, my patient tag. He did everything I asked him to do. He answered everything correctly. And the entire 25 minutes, he was jumping up and down on the bed, doing flips and rolls. And then he'd run over to the camera. He'd do what he needed to do. He'd come back and I'm like, he wasn't holding that, thank goodness. But like he was like running across. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like watching this child.
I had one that Dad came on camera and just said, my son is naughty. And I'm like, he is naughty. I mean, I've had to like message the parents to let them know. But I love him. But when he's in a mood, he's in a mood. But Amanda, we should have done the funny stories live like this. We could have had everybody jump on live. All right. I think that's it. I could talk to you all day, Mary Beth.
I had so much fun. I didn't know what to anticipate. So I'm very thankful that you asked me on. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm glad you came. And you can come back anytime. Sophie was like, should I jump on or we're going to do another one? And I don't think they're so bad. Other people have been on a couple times. So
It's
they're
fun.
not so scary once you do it once. So, all right, everybody in the chat, thank you so much. 11 in the chat, you guys rock. And thank you so much for coming. Mary Beth, thank you again. And
Thank you for having me.